Assalamu alaikum everyone. Today we are with Haris Khan and we will be discussing topic South Asian youth and their role in professional America and how they can build their career, how Haris Khan can help us to guide them and how we can create suggestions and advices for them so that they can do things which we did in our career and those can help them to plan as a proactive plan accordingly and thank you so much Haris Khan
Thank you.
for joining this podcast. I know you are a very busy person and you have been very busy with your job and everything and I really appreciate that you joined today with your tough schedule. Also I know that you have been very much involved in community services also, especially for guiding our youth how to appear in interviews for their jobs, how to create their resumes, how to fix their resume, and even you helped me fixing my resume. Thank you so much for that, and it really helped me because many people don't know how to build their resume when they are applying, and now with the latest softwares and those things, how the resumes are picked by the recruiters, so that is all another science which Haris very well understand. And the best thing for Haris, which I would say, not to flatter you, but whatever he learned, whatever he find out about new things and new technology or knowledge, he always share with us, and he try to share that knowledge with others so that it can benefit the community and anyone. And when I say community, it is not just Muslim or Pakistani community. He is very much helping all communities here. Anyone who approach him, anyone who seek for any guidance, he's always been there. So Haris, you wanna introduce yourself? You wanna talk about something?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say thank you to Usman for inviting me and having me on his podcast. And just I should put the seatbelt. We're driving now, and just to congratulate him on this new initiative he took, creating this YouTube channel and starting this vlog, and wish him best of luck. So a little bit about myself. I currently work in the automotive industry. I won't mention the company name, but I did my electrical engineering from Wayne State University, where I also went there for my master's, and I have been heavily involved for the past almost 10 years now, working with electric vehicles, their batteries, renewable energies, and that's kind of also why I did my master's in electrical with focusing on renewable energy. So that's kind of been my career path, and just having been blessed to work in different corporate environments, it's taught me a lot about corporate growth, how to entry points to these corporate markets and companies, and I had great mentors along the way in these companies, and that's why I kind of learned how to mentor some up and coming engineers which are graduating, and even not even them, even anyone that that I work with. So I learned from them, and whatever I can pass on knowledge to them.
Sure. So related to what you have done in your academic, so how was your journey? Like, did you had a proper guidance from your elders or your friends or anyone in your family? I know your father was a professor in NED, so you surely had that guidance to start.
Yeah, I think everybody that goes through this career path or any career path, they should have a mentor or some kind of guidance. For some it might be their parents, for some it might be a friend or a professor at their university or a teacher they had. Yes, for me a big part of that were my parents, especially my father, who was an engineer himself. He was a professor in NED University in Pakistan. He also worked here as an automotive engineer. So when I saw him, I kind of saw the career path and what were the opportunities. All his friends and our family friends, they were all also engineers. So growing up, those were the the gatherings we went to. Everybody talked about either these companies, and what were the challenges, the opportunities, the pros and cons.
So Haris, when you meet someone who is younger than you, and mostly the fresher one who are graduating from universities in US, number one, Number two, those people who have come from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and different countries to seek their undergrad or master's degree here.
Yeah.
So what will you guide them, suggest them that can help them to plan things accordingly? Any ideas like which field they should select for looking into next 10 years, which is going to be having a boom? Another I'm sorry for that, but another thing, how crucial is to pick any major or field plays a crucial role in our career?
So that's a good question. That's a loaded question too. Do you mean this like automotive or battery or any field you're talking about?
Any field, like what field you are seeing in next 10 years, which will be having a boom, will be having more jobs, so that we can guide our youth that they should try to get into those fields, so that there will be more chances for jobs and job security.
So I think more than the field or the discipline of engineering that's going to have a boom, we should be looking more so to the industries that are going to be having boom, right?
Okay.
The industries meaning electric vehicle. Whether someone likes it or not or accepts it or not, electric vehicles, that's where majority of these companies are moving towards.
Okay.
That's how they're shifting their entire departments. They're decreasing their engines and transmission departments and increasing their electric vehicle battery department. So but we've seen the way vehicles are evolving. It's not just the traditional mechanical engineers working on engines and transmissions. I mean, just in the vehicle that we're sitting in right now, how much of it is connectivity that people and software? It's not just mechanical. So nowadays you don't have to even be an engineer to come in the automotive industry. People coming from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, whether you're an engineer or a computer scientist, whether you're a designer, whether you're any of those fields, you can find great opportunities in America in any of these fields, whether it be automotive, technology. Because in my experience, how I've seen in the last 10 years, automotive companies have become automotive, but also technological companies.
Okay.
Companies that are focusing on technology, connectivity, software. The amount of money they've invested in software, obviously automotive companies didn't used to invest this much in software. So pick something you're good at and something you enjoy, I think, and stick to that and find mentors and opportunities in that field, I think, and that's going to help you out more.
Yep. So that is the another thing. Nowadays I see that our youth is having very less belief in taking advice from their elders or the people who are already in the field. But in our time, I do remember, like, we are also very young, but I'm talking about the freshers who are graduating,
like 18, 19 years old.
So we had that from our parents, that if we are applying for some company, they used to tell us, like, ask those people who are already working for them, how's the work environment, what are the opportunities there. Even for when I was getting into electrical engineering, I went to multiple people in Pakistan when I was there at that time, and I went to different people and asked about them which field I should go for. And those were those people, like, as we are talking to you, you have a lot of achievements in your career with very short span of time. So those kind of people, I always used to go and ask them where I should proceed, how I can create a path for my better career and all. But to today's youth, I see that they are a bit shy, and they don't like to ask questions about that. They want to experience their own journey. So what thoughts you have on it? So, is it safe to do that kind of experiment with your career?
I mean, one thing I'd like to comment here, what you said was younger generations, they're not used to approaching people and talking to them. They like doing research on their own. And we can see that in as well in our elders too. When they used to sit somewhere, they can talk to strangers a little better than us. Especially the younger kids nowadays, if they're sitting in a waiting room, they're never going to talk to a stranger. How's your days going? How's your family or anything? Because their source of information is not other people primarily. Their source of information is always the internet, you can say, or online, or so it's less human interaction, like face to face. Yeah, exactly. Okay. But no, definitely, I mean, going to people that are more experienced than you, they might not know the latest technological advancements, but one thing your parents or your elders will always have more than you is experience. I mean, that's just how it works. So I'm not saying whatever the advice they give you will always be a right one, but use their experience, take advice from many people, and use the experience of others to benefit, yourself and your career, rather than learning from your own mistakes. Learn from the mistakes of others. That's how I like to put it. But
and I will also comment on it, like on social media and social platform, not everything is truth. Sometimes people exaggerate it, they're fascinated, but when you go to a person in real, they will tell you the real stories also, which they cannot surely put on social media, because they also have some boundaries. They cannot say everything on social platforms,
like on Instagram, people put the best of themselves out there. Especially we saw these financial advisors pop up after the pandemic. People teaching people how to make $100 grand in a month from stocks and trading, day trading. But we saw that a lot of that wasn't true, and a lot of people lost a lot of money because of that. So I agree with you. It's you shouldn't always depend on social media and their teachings.
So my next question, Haris, is that I have seen a lot of people always say that I want to make my hobby my career. Is it okay to do it? Because I feel like, for example, if your hobby is some technical thing, for example, we have a mutual friend, Hassan. He is really good at computer and all software and those things. He has always been a geek, I would say. And his career is more finance side at his job, not computer technology related. But he has always been like, I don't want to mix my hobby and my job. But I think if your hobby is technical and you enjoy it, you should turn it into your career. But another question, if your hobby is artistic, for example, we know you are a very good singer, you do sing songs and community functions and all, and you have a very good voice. I must say that. So if you are having some artistic hobby, for example, painting, singing and those things, music, if you will turn it into career, then there are chances you might get famous and it become good for you. But we know out of 100, maybe 3 or 4 get famous, rest are always struggling. So how you will see that thing? Should we make our hobby our career, or how we can take that thing? Like,
so one thing I looked at, right? I mean, the first generation of immigrants that came here, like for me, my parents, right? That generation that came in the 80s and the 90s, they weren't as financially stable. So if you had told someone in the 80s and 90s, a father of 2 or 3 kids that came in their late 30s or 40s, whether they want to pursue a hobby, an interest which belongs to the arts, they probably wouldn't have done that, because they're on survival mode. When you're in survival mode, you kind of put your hobbies on the back burner. You do what you get the most fruit out of, whatever is more fruitful, wherever you see the highest return on investment.
Makes sense.
That's why we see a lot of immigrants and their kids going towards being engineers, doctors, because it's a safer option. It's an option where you can establish your family, you can support your parents, yourself, your kids. I think as a community, as a South Asian community, maybe in the next generation or 2 generations later, when these Pakistani Indian communities are going to be so well established in America, maybe our kids or grandkids are going to be in a position where they can safely go into things like political science or go into arts, or
they can experiment different.
They can experiment, but I think it depends at which level your generation is at in a foreign land. And I say foreign because for our parents, this was a foreign land. In Pakistan, obviously, you're always on survival mode. Countries like India, Pakistan, you do whatever you get most fruit out of. So
that's why our parents are also very controlling while we are selecting our career.
Because you can go to your parents and say, I want to be a photographer. Okay, well, the next question they're going to ask you is, how are you going to support your family? Because what does an average photographer make? Not a lot.
But nowadays, these kind of fields have evolved a lot. And I know many people from back home that they are making more than engineers and doctors, because now these things have got so much focus for photography and video making
Yeah.
and paintings and those
Yeah.
things. And now a lot of people are doing a lot of small scale businesses of their artwork, their music. They have their personal chat channels, their pages where they can promote their work. So I think now it is little bit changing. They are getting focus on them, and it is helping them. But yeah, you are right. Earlier it was more about finance, how you will manage the finance, because with the empty pocket you cannot continue your passion or those
Correct.
things. It is very hard. Out of 100 there is couple of stories, like they had nothing in pocket, but they survived, they made it. And with the help of God, if God found anything to happen,
for sure.
it do happen.
Yeah,
So,
and I agree. I agree with you. When things like Fiverr started, right? I mean, if you have a soft skill, if you have a skill like graphic designing, you can put it out there. If you're good in speaking or making documentaries, you can make a YouTube channel and you can basically put your content out there and get audiences. Unlike before, where you don't have those channels to put your content out there. So yeah.
So my other question is, earlier we used to be very strict with their undergrad degree, with our masters. But now we have to keep up with our field in which whatever we are working. We have to do different certifications. We have to learn right and left, diversified different technologies to keep up with our job, to look more confident, to know more tools and everything. How you will suggest our youth, like how much beneficial it is to know latest tools, latest applications, how to use them at your work, and which applications you can suggest which are very helpful, like Microsoft Excel. On that we have macro and those different things which can be helpful in creating documents, and Microsoft Office and those type of to make your things good.
So one angle I like to look at here, right? Like if you go back 50 years, you're an engineer in a small city in America, let's say. If you have a job, an engineering job in that city, you're only competing for that job against engineers who are in that city, right? Back 50 years ago, I'm guessing there was not that many engineers compared to today. So you're competing against, let's say, 10 engineers in the city for that job. The more jobs have moved on to remote, and the more on the computers and everything is remote basically. And this has kind of been expedited after the pandemic, where a lot of companies went fully remote. You're now not just competing, me as an engineer or as a designer or a software engineer, I'm not just competing against engineers who are graduating within my city. I'm competing against engineers that are sitting in India, Pakistan, China, because my company can easily hire a person sitting in a foreign country, in another country. They can do the same job remotely. They don't need to be here physically present. So whenever you're competing against more and more people, that's where you need to qualify yourself and improve yourself more and more, because you're competing against more people. So just barely getting a bachelor's degree like before, that's not going to do the job. Now that's why more and more people get a master's degree. Why? Because they want to up their game a little bit compared to the next guy.
That thing I agree. Our competition have become very huge, and we have to what should be the right word? We should make ourselves every day more strong technically and more aware. It is not like you should know everything, but you should know little bit of at least a lot of things which you are doing, so that it can give you a kickstart.
And one thing I'd like to add here in the end, there's hard skills and soft skills, right? I've seen as I've worked in the last 10 years in this corporate America, hard skills get you the job. Hard skills being, okay, for example, Microsoft Excel, or whether you know CAD, or are you good in graphic designing, right? Or if you're good in some electrical application. But soft skills are you a good speaker? Do you communicate well?
Agreed.
Do you handle conflict resolutions very good? So you can get hired using your hard skills on your resume and in the interview. But to really excel in jobs, and which I think skills that young people graduating and coming from all these countries should focus on to excel at, are these soft skills like communication, like conflict resolution, like how easy are you to work with, and that's kind of the skills that more immigrants struggle with compared to Americans over here, because of language barriers, because of cultural differences. So soft skills are harder to develop, I think, but they get you much farther
Agreed.
in the company.
And also one more thing I will add in it, please use your time wisely.
Yeah.
And if you have time, and you can do different certifications which can help you in your career,
for sure.
do it. I do remember in COVID era in 2020, I was laid off for 3-4 months due to COVID situation, and my elder brother motivated me for doing PMP, project management professional certification. I did it, and it helped me for getting my another job when I got direct in my same company.
Okay.
So the things which you do even in your in your leisure time, they sometimes help you big. So these certifications which you think can boost your career, can as Haris said, it can it can escalate your options to be selected, to be at least reach to the interview. So those things, as Haris also guided me how I can make my resume better, so that at least I can reach to the level to at least appear in interview. And then if I'm able to crack it with my knowledge and all, that is another thing. So my next question is, Haris, as I know you have a great knowledge about electric vehicles and batteries, and you are working in that field. What changes specifically you are seeing in automotive? The engineers already working in automotive, how they should plan their next 5 to 10 years to keep up with those changes, so that they can have a smooth transition, and they can meanwhile doing their job in their teams and department. They can learn new skills which are going to be used, as you mentioned. It's getting too much technology is evolving a lot in automotive. A lot of stuff is being added, especially moving forward to electric vehicle. So in that case, how the people already in the automotive can on side, on parallel, they can build their resume, they can build their career, they can learn new things, so that when they were needed to transition to electric vehicles and battery side, they can move, or change are coming. We can see it.
Well, I mean, one comment I'd like to add here before I even answer the question is, most people, I think in the coming 5 to 10 years, won't even have a choice. They will have to transition, because a lot of these companies are getting rid of departments, or making these departments really small that are engine or transmission. So they're moving kind of these people, I don't want to say forcefully, but they're converting a lot of these groups and departments into EV or battery related departments. So you won't even have a choice whether to go there or not. But as far as like what skills you can develop, I think, like you said, it's always good to keep getting more knowledge, certifications, and improving yourself in there. Some things you can do is maybe get a certification in EV, for example, at your local university or college. They're simple to do, gives you basic knowledge of that. But these days, I think researching on your own, on YouTube, online, it's become so easy. You can get amazing, great basic knowledge of any, any EV car or battery or anything. Keep reading on the latest technologies that are coming out. But also, one thing I've always done in my career is keep talking to people in your company that are not in your group, like cross-functional teams. The amount of knowledge you'll get from people, just talking to people, what are the issues that are coming up in your teams? What are the solutions that you guys are proposing for these issues? Or what I like to do is, when I was a specialist, I still do this right now, and when I started off in these companies, I tagged along with a senior engineer that is going to an off-site facility, to a plant, to a factory. Hey, can I just come and tag along with you? I just want to see and learn, just shadowing senior engineers, just trying to learn and ask them. I think it's a great way to get that initial knowledge.
Before even you reach that point, you already will be having some knowledge about it. So Haris, I did same thing. I do remember when I started in 2018, I also worked for automotive company. So I used to go to my colleague, my fellow engineers who are working on different programs. So I used to go to them and ask them, do you need any help? Can I help you in any way? Same thing as you said, and they got help from me, and I got learning from them. Whenever I helped them, I learned what issues they are working on, and moving forward, when my manager wanted me to work on those vehicle lines or those projects, I already had, I wouldn't say I had all knowledge, but I had some knowledge to start with.
Of course.
So I think that's the best thing you brought up. We should always try to expand. And when you just focus on your own part or your own department or your own responsibilities, you will never expand, because if you will try to expand, it will be very hard for you to expand, because it is not that easy. You become too comfortable with what you are doing.
And one thing, engineers, if they're working on any automotive industry or anything for that matter, aerospace, sitting behind a desk and looking at CAD or engineering drawings, you can only learn so much, to be honest with you. When you go to the factory, the plant, and you talk to people that are working physically on the part, I mean, that's where you really get down to the issues. You learn where the issues are, and you also develop solutions over there by looking at the physical parts, not looking at the computer screen. I'm not saying you can't do your job from a computer screen or come up with solutions, but always getting your hands dirty and throwing yourself in the fire is going to have a great big learning curve than versus not doing so.
Sure. So Haris, thank you so much for your time and your support. And I know a lot of people will be benefited with all the knowledge we have talked about. But before we end this podcast, I have one just last question. Your comments for the people who are already in US and they are going to graduate very soon, or the people who are going to adopt any new engineering, medical, or any other field, they are just going to select in their college. What suggestions you will give to those? And also, part B of this question, what suggestions you will give to the people in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and different countries, those students who are planning to come to US and to study here and work here? So what will be your suggestion to them? How they can plan those things?
That's a loaded question. I mean,
I want to make full use of your knowledge.
No, I'm not that knowledgeable. You're overpraising me right now. But I mean, the professionals graduating here, right? I mean, I'm just gonna say that one comment I like to have is try to give back to the communities. When you do graduate, when you go on, be successful, give back to your communities, your families, to everyone, your friends, and stay involved in the communities, and always try to excel yourself. And you have so much resources and so many channels of knowledge that you didn't have before. People in the previous generations didn't have. So always try to keep improving yourself, develop your soft skills, be nice to everyone, because that gets you really far in life. Just these basic things, because everybody can learn these technical skills, and there's no shortcut to learning those. You have to spend the time, you take the courses, and you learn these hard technical skills. But I think where the difference comes are some of these other characteristics that some people have that make them CEOs, make them directors. They're not always the most tech savvy people in the room or the most technological smart people in the room, but they're the people that tackle problems head on. They're the people who aren't afraid to speak up and give ideas, and they're the people that are open to different ideas and suggesting to other people. So I think that's what makes leaders in these companies, or not just corporate America, but in any organization. And I guess people in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and South Asia, I mean, what was your question? If they want to come here?
Yes. Whoever is planning to come to US for their masters or for H1B for job. So how you would guide them to begin their academic career or work career?
So I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'm in a good position to speak on that, because I didn't go through that process myself. I know you and a lot of other of our friends have gone through that same process, so you know about the struggles and the challenges much more than me. I mean, I can honestly I don't even want to comment on that, because I haven't gone through the process.
So you have dodged that question back to me. So guys, listen from experienced guy. So I came here in 2016 after completing my undergrad, and people here, as Haris mentioned, give back to the community. People here are very helpful. whether they are Indian, from Bangladesh, Pakistan, even from the Arab countries, even from the European countries. They all are very helpful. They all guide you. They all want you to successful. When they see any potential in you, when they see any any eagerness in you to learning, when they see you are very eager to learn things, they guide you, they support you. They will always push you towards success. They will not pull your legs. So that is the beauty of US. And here, if you will ask anyone to guide anything, they will surely take out some time for you. But when you are applying and you are already in India, Pakistan and Bangladesh, use your time. As I said, use your time wisely. When you are in your final year of your undergrad, try planning your next year. Like, start working on your IELTS or TOEFL. Start working on your grades. Make sure that you are qualifying with all the requirements here for universities, and start looking for universities at least 6 months prior to your graduation, and start looking what are the requirements, so that you can make up to that, and you will be having no issues. Because a lot of people, when they start planning after graduation, they waste their time. So if you plan accordingly before graduation, you have your IELTS complete before graduation, you have all the homework done, which university you want to apply, so you can right away apply after your graduation. It will save your time. And when you come here try to connect with the community. When I say community, here are many ways to connect with the community. Here are people through LinkedIn you can connect. They can help you how to live in a cheap places. Being a student, we know that there are not very good financial conditions, so they can help you with that. They can help you to make your resume, like Haris helped me, and he do help a lot of people on that. That's his main thing. He also help people to prepare for interview, and I know that there are many people who don't charge. He didn't charge me, so thank you for that.
I should have, right?
You should have. I was selected after that.
I should start taking royalty fees now.
So that kind of support is there. You just have to reach people, and also talk to people. When you talk to people, you get ahead of a time. You learn things and you can plan better. Otherwise, if you think you will come here and you do experiments and then learn, sometimes those experiments are very costly.
I think the last point you mentioned is really important. Talk to people, because the more you talk to different people, the more you learn. And that one little comment from someone, that one little piece of information from someone might land you your next job. They might give you a lead for a company. And there's one last thing I want to add here. So in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, right, I don't have much experience living there and going to college over there or working there, but I know, like, people, if they want to succeed, young professionals, they think about other things they need to develop to succeed. So I need to do this and maybe get on the good side of my boss, or I mean, other, like, if I build connections with a company, or find out someone I know who knows a director to get a job. Coming to America, I think if you have the talent, if you're ready to work hard, you can make it. That's the good thing about working in America. All that is required from you is hard work and commitment. After that, you get the equal opportunity. You get the same opportunity to succeed as the guy beside you. I'm not saying there's no disparity, social disparity among different groups and different communities here. There is, obviously. But if you're willing to work hard, if you have the basics down, you should have every opportunity possible to succeed in a career and build a career for yourself where you can support your family and lead a good, healthy, comfortable life. I'm not saying you're going to become a millionaire, but a good, healthy life. So,
thank you so much again, Haris, for your time and your support. And guys, thank you so much. We will sign off from Daily Life with Usman. Thank you.
Thank
Allah
you.
Hafiz.